Welcome to TSM Doubtbox Week 11. I'm your host, Mr. Perry. Today's question is this. If God is male, can he understand girl-related things like a period? That's a great question. But before I answer it, I want to clarify something up front. See, God isn't a male in the way I'm a male. Humans are the type of creatures with a binary biological sex. We're made either male or female. But God's not like that. As John 4:24 states, God is spirit. And as a spiritual being, he doesn't have a body, and therefore he doesn't have a sex. So while God's not a man and therefore not male, he did choose the masculine form in order to reveal himself to humanity. In Scripture, we see references to God the Father hundreds of times in the Old Testament and in the New. Likewise, Jesus took on a male form when he walked on the earth. So does that mean God doesn't understand girl issues? Well, there are at least three types of ways of knowing or understanding things. The first is through experience, and that's probably the easiest to understand. I know what it's like to eat pizza because I do it all the time. You know what it's like to be you because you experience it all the time. My wife understands what it is like to have a baby because she experienced that 3 times. But experience isn't the only way to know or understand things. There's another way of understanding called cognitive or rational understanding, which means you've thought about it. You've learned about it, maybe you've read about it, maybe talked with other people who've experienced it. Maybe you saw them go through it. For instance, I've never had a baby, but I was there with my wife the whole time that she grew our 3 boys in her body. I was there when the first 2 came out. I read all the books about being pregnant. I heard all the complaints about aches and pains and the way the shoes didn't fit anymore. So in a very real sense, I know a lot about having a baby, even though I can't experience it firsthand. There's a third type of knowledge called constructive or creative knowledge. And this means you know something because you created it. Let me give an example. Think of your favorite song. Do you have it in your head? You've probably listened to it dozens of times, maybe even hundreds of times. You know all the words. Maybe you've even learned how to play it yourself on piano or guitar. You really know this song, right? You know all the notes, you know all the lyrics. But do you know this song as well as the person that wrote it? The one who took their passions and their longings and they strung together the lyrics just so. The one who spent weeks putting together just the right notes or the chords or making that screaming guitar solo. This is the person that knows the song better than anybody else ever will because they created it. And we can know something in a very, very deep sense when we are the ones that have created it. So, does this help answer our question? Well, I think so. The question does highlight the fact that there are some things that God doesn't know or understand about being a human, or in particular about being a girl, at least not in the sense of having experienced it for himself. God has not had the cramps and the bloating and the crabbiness that comes from having your period, or the pain and discomfort from being pregnant. But God also doesn't know what it's like experientially to sin, or to have cancer, or even to play Xbox. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have other types of knowledge about these things, or understand what you're going through. Since as Christians we have a spirit living in us, he sees everything that we go through. He's there with us through all of our fears and frustration, our anxieties, our doubts, and our joys. But most importantly, and I think as a direct answer to your question, God knows all about what your body is going through as a girl because he made you that way. He made male and female bodies, so he knows everything there is to know about how they work. He made your body with a menstrual cycle so that you could have babies. This is something incredible. This is an amazing gift. And it's something that no male can do. So the answer is yes. God understands what it's like being you, being a girl. in the issues that you deal with, like having a period, even though he's never experienced them like you are. But he knows and he understands because he made you. And that is the deepest kind of understanding that there is. Mr. Perry out.